Hi, I'm Mark, and welcome to What's Brewing. Today I'm sitting down with Dr. Mark Freeman with Axxess Medical Solutions out of Lafayette, Louisiana for part one of his interview. But before we get into it, let's go ahead and roll that B-roll. Dr. Freeman, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So for people at home that are not familiar with who you are, tell them who you are and what you do.
Mark Freeman, MD. I actually am a preventive medicine physician. I'm emphasizing now metabolic medicine, which is an attention to the metabolic syndrome and hormone deficiency. I also have two other divisions in my practice. That particular division was called my Club Med. I also have a Vet Med, which means I do disability medical evaluations for veterans, and an Occ Med, which means I do occupational medicine, which is mainly fitness for duty.
Awesome. So I guess let's start all the way back at the beginning. So I know as a 5 or 6 year old, you couldn't have been like, I want to be a doctor. You might have been like maybe a fireman or a policeman or something like that. So what led you to doing medicine?
Well, my father was a physician, and he demanded respect wherever he went. He was very good. He was actually the smartest man I've ever met in my life. And so I was able to attend autopsies, and I found that the human anatomy, be it from the morgue, was very intriguing. And so when I graduated from high school, I went into the military. I became a corpsman for both the Navy and the Marine Corps. And at Corps School, I did very well. And I thought that was, where I fit best. My father was a physician. I grew up learning a little anatomy. I went through Corps School, Balboa Naval Hospital, and then was assigned duty with the Marine Corps, Fleet Marine Force. And so I really got into a lot of action with anatomy and physiology, found I performed well, I understood it, and I felt like that was a good skill set for me to have. And then when I got out of the military, I said, well, I want to go to medical school. And so I went to a junior college where I was when I got out of the military, which is in Pensacola, Florida. I went to PJC in honors chemistry. And then in order to be competitive in a 4-year medical school, university, I thought it was important that I went to not just a junior college, but I went to another 4-year university so that I can show that I can compete with those people who are challenging the entrance exams for medical school. So actually at the time I was married with children, and we moved to Colorado, went to the University of Colorado in honors chemistry. And thereafter, some life happened and we had to move back to Louisiana. And so I finished up at LSU. Those guidance counselors thought that because my interest was in medicine, that I needed to get more biology background than just chemistry. And so I joined the biochemistry program and graduated with a bachelor's in biochemistry. It just so happened at the time that I was in the horse business as well. I'm an old country boy. And so being in the horse business, I said, well, it might be better that I still stay in the medical field, but I go into veterinary medicine. That way I can have my family with me to hold a horse or to come with me, and it's not so impersonal like conventional medicine. So I actually went to LSU vet school, which was harder to get into than medical school. At the time, there's many medical schools throughout the United States, but only 27 vet schools. So the competition to get into vet school was much more keen, and I was accepted in the vet school. We have to take the same MCATs, and so everything was going well. I was in my 2nd year of vet school, and then another family catastrophe happened, and my oldest son nearly drowned, but he didn't. He survived. And so the dean at the time, Dean Besh at LSU Vet School, asked if I would like to resign, but I can return at any time. And so I did resign from vet school and worked with my son, and it was a miraculous recovery. And my father and all his colleagues thought that might be the best route to go. And so actually we jumped ship and we went to medical school. And I finished up medical school at LSU, and then went to into an internal medicine program at LSU ROK Long. Thereafter, the thing that I found that left a bad taste in my mouth in internal medicine was compliance. I found that I can only help those who want to help themselves. And if they're not compliant and they don't want to help themselves, my job as a physician is just left to chance. And so I said, you know what? I was an athlete. I was in the military. I actually want to see results. And so I thought a better approach to medicine is a proactive approach. And so I changed interests and specialties to preventive occupational and environmental medicine. So I went up to Cincinnati School of Medicine and obtained a degree in preventive occupational and environmental medicine, and came back to Louisiana to practice one of the three flavors of preventive medicine. Preventive medicine usually at that time had occupational medicine, which is caring for employees and making sure to prevent work-related illnesses and injuries. The other two, one of which is epidemiology, and those guys went to the CDC in Atlanta. And the third was aerospace medicine, and those guys went to NASA. But because I was from South Louisiana, somewhere between near Baton Rouge, and we recognize that's the industrial corridor of the South. It actually produces 75% of the nation's petrochemical products and 25% of the world's petrochemical products right there in my backyard where I was from, Plaquemine, which is very near Baton Rouge. So I came back and I chose occupational medicine as my core in that field. And then I actually met a young lady from New Iberia, and who was beautiful and a great cook. And so I jumped the pond from Plaquemine, Baton Rouge area and came to the Lafayette area, where I found that the people were beautiful, they were lovely, the food was wonderful, and the music was awesome. And so I felt like this was the place for me. It was near my wife's hometown. And so we moved to Lafayette, and I started more into the preventive medicine with occupational medicine as my core. And then because I was a veteran, I decided to do vet medicine, which is actually helping veterans obtain the benefits they deserve. And then the biggest thing was proactively addressing metabolic medicine needs for those patients.
Well, Doc, that was amazing to hear. Like, you brought us the entire journey. And the thing is, we're out of time for this episode. You gave a very, very thorough answer. I would like to do another one. Do you mind doing a part 2?
Not at all.
Awesome. Well, Doc, thank you so much for.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Mark.
No problem. Well, that's going to do it for us here over at What's Brewing. If you like what you saw here, don't forget to hit that like button, crush that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell to keep up to date with videos as they're coming out. But until the next one, have a good one.